Yeah, just happy to be on the winning side of a game like that. We've been on the other side a couple times, so just happy for our guys. We've stacked up some good days in practice, and a lot of guys stepped up. Against obviously a good team, well coached team with really good players. So happy for our group of guys, and hope we can build on it.
Coach, was this the breakout game for Canon that you hoped to see all season?
Definitely felt like it. I mean, he was. You don't miss a shot. I guess you can call that a breakout game. So he was tremendous. But happy for him because obviously, he's had a couple bumps in the road, and he stayed the course. I think my coaching staff has done a good job of just staying in the trenches with him, keeping him positive, and he's done a good job of just keeping his head down and working. But yeah, he was unbelievable tonight.
Did you say anything to him at halftime? In terms of, because he was perfect at half.
No. I just kind of let him do his thing, but definitely, shouted him out after the game, just in terms of sticking with, his work and being able to, step up, tonight in a big game.
Kevin, since we're on the topic, why didn't Canon play the last? I don't think any overtime, and maybe even the last 5 minutes or so.
A lot of it was just the defensive matchups that we liked out there, and you got three dynamic guards. That's not necessarily his strong suit, but experience in those moments is something that we opted for, and it worked.
Coach, describe the emotion for you. I think when Richie's on his other hand, when he paced down your.
Yeah, I lost my mind for a minute on that one. Yeah, I don't even know what happened, to be honest with you. So just it's an emotional game. Try to be pretty calm and collected over there, but sometimes the ex-player comes out in you where you just get you get competitive, and you just kind of lose your mind for a minute, I guess.
What was the message you had to your team going into the overtime period after going into that extra period?
It was just kind of business as usual. We want to make sure we had our coverages tight. They put a lot of pressure on you defensively with how dynamic their guards are, and we just want to make sure we were locked in there.
There was a moment early in the second half where Baylor called an early timeout, and you ran out kind of midcourt to Cada, and I don't know if you gave him a little chest bump or anything, but what was it about his play that made you react to that moment and his performance tonight?
I thought Omir got the better of him on that rebound, and just challenged Cable. No more. And me and Cable have a pretty good relationship where he's come to me a couple of times and felt like he's verbalized that, coach. I want to do more. Like, I want to play harder. Like, I need to give us more. And so I kind of. When he said that to me about a week and a half ago, it really resonated with me. So I was trying to kind of just get him charged up. I thought he did the kid goes 5 of 12, from the field. I thought Cable did a really good job on him. And then subsequently, we had to put guards on a big fella. We had Dallin, Yegor, guarding their 7-footer, which is a tall task, literally and figuratively. But Omar is such a man. It's hard to not have your centers on them, the way that our roster is constructed. So I thought a lot of guys stepped up in those particular matchups.
What do you think this can do for your team coming out victorious in a game where there's such high-level shot-making from some of these heralded guys and just the competitiveness in this matchup?
Yeah, I think our confidence is growing as a group, and I've said this before, but, we really haven't waned. Houston kicked our butt every other game we've had a chance to win, other than in league play, that is. And so our guys haven't waned. I think their ability to stack good days in practice and now stack 3 wins in a row, I think, gives them great confidence. And I told them in the locker room that, we should expect to beat good teams because we're a good team. And we've kind of had that mantra since I've gotten here. And I think our guys are at first, I'm not sure if they believed it, but I think as more we go, I think they're gaining confidence in that.
Richie had been struggling shooting like 3 of 11, I think, at one point, then finishes 3 of 4 down the stretch. Is that kind of an indication of what kind of player he is? He's able to flip it when he needs to?
I don't know if he can flip it when he needs to. He's a guy that deserves big moments, with his body of work. And so I think Richie's going to give you everything he's got regardless of what's going on out there. I think he's going to make a play every time he gets the ball. So I wasn't too worried about his shooting performance. part of the reason I changed his subbing rotation was for the matchups, trying to get trying to keep Mag out there on Edgecombe, and then brought Canon in earlier in the second half for that reason. But Richie's he's a stud, man. He's like everything you want in a player,
You
honestly.
mentioned Edgecombe. Obviously, you have two high-level freshmen in your own right, but what do you make of Edgecombe's performance?
He's a really good player. Yeah, he's going to have a heck of a career, however long he stays at Baylor, and then at the next level, there'll be a lot of teams. Tons of them are here tonight to watch it, but he's really good, really dynamic. I mean, guys like him in the NBA are even more hard to guard because you can't touch people in the NBA. It's not as much of a rock fight as it is in college. So with that level of bop, and you put NBA shooting around him and spacing, yeah, he's going to be a problem.
Are you a big supporter of fouling then when you're up 3? Because I saw Dallin fouled VJ with about 11 seconds to go. So you go for you're a big proponent of doing that in those situations.
We played the Clippers in the playoffs, and we did it like 4 different times with like 40-something seconds left. And so, I think the reason I use that example is I think most coaches are, if it's burned you before, then you have an opinion on it, And so I've been burnt both ways. I thought Edgecombe was going pretty, he had it going, and I didn't want him to get a 3-up. So I don't think it's like I haven't stamped off on like, hey, we're doing this every single time. But it's definitely something we work on in practice, and our guys were able to execute it.
3 more questions. Your bench outscored Baylor 45-7. All of that was catchings, but you also had Dallin, who had a big 3 in overtime, and Baker, who had made the last 2 free throws. What does that say about like the guys coming off the bench and everyone buying into their roles?
It says a lot, and I mentioned that very fact in the locker room afterwards. But I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, they played 7 guys. I know they got a couple guys out, but a lot of I think college basketball in general, a lot of them go 8 deep. They don't play more than 8. I think we do have depth. I think it's something that honestly is a blessing and a curse in some ways. But the way as fast as we want to play, I think we can wear teams down, which I think we've worn teams down in these last 3 wins. And so having guys on the bench who accept their roles and come in and produce is not easy when I'm sure they all want to play 40 minutes.
Speaking of 3 wins, first time in this program where this program's won 3 in a row in the Big 12. What does it say about your coaching staff and what you guys are doing?
I just think it speaks to what we're trying to do. We're trying to, and I said it when I got here, is that we're just trying to, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean, BYU's been a storied, successful program for many, many years before I got here, but I think as they've transitioned to the Big 12, I do think there's a narrative about what BYU can or can't do as it relates to recruiting, as it relates to winning at the highest level, and that's definitely a narrative we're trying to push, forward, like what we can actually do. And the stat you just mentioned is definitely a step in the right direction for that.
On the game-clinching free throws, was that designed to eventually get it to Dawson, and was that executed the way you wanted it to be?
Yes. Yep. Dawson's a guy who's does not lack confidence, and I feel really comfortable with him in those moments, and he was able to make 2 huge ones.
Did somebody have one more question?
Kevin, I was just going to ask you if you're an MMA guy, and if you ever envisioned 9 months ago when you got this job that Conor McGregor would be at a BYU.
Yeah, someone told me, and it caught my eye across the thing there. I mean, it's kind of funny because my first head coaching job was in Dublin, Ireland, and now you got a Irish. So Ireland was well represented in Provo, but shout out to Conor. Wish I could have met him, but I'm sure those that were sitting around him had a blast.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.